Hello, and welcome to EdTech Tips. My name is Opie McCubbins, and I'm an assistant professor at Mississippi State University in the School of Human Sciences, where I mainly work with our agricultural education students. I'm excited that you're joining me today to learn more about EdTech tools and tips for integration into your instruction. I always like to start off my EdTech presentations with a few responses to this question about why I use EdTech tools. And I use these for several reasons. But one is to streamline processes. And we think about some of the things that take up a lot of our time as educators. Formative assessments, grading, and put on our ag ed hat a little bit. Think about being an FFA advisor, banquet season, creating certificates and things like that. EdTech tools can help us streamline some of those things that are time consuming. I also use EdTech tools to engage students. And most importantly, I use EdTech tools to help move students from consumers to creators. All right, I always like to start off with an example of what streamlining processes looks like. So if you'll do me a favor, pull out your phone and open up the camera app and focus on that QR code. Or you can also use the short link below the QR code. This will open up a Google form. It's a short form for tracking attendance, your participation in this video. Complete that form, and when you enter an email, I would recommend using a personal email just to avoid any kickback from any kind of strict domain issues. And after you submit, I want you to check your email. That took me a couple minutes on the front end to create that automatic process. And then I simply have you fill out a form, and everything from here on out is automated. I don't have to manually create those certificates. Think about how much time that would save during banquet season. Spend a little time on the front end, and you save a ton of time on the back end. The Microsoft version is slightly more robust than Google Forms. And some of my favorite features of Microsoft Forms is that built into the platform already, they have a start and end collection option. So you can set when the form opens up to start accepting responses and when it would end. And then my absolute favorite feature with Microsoft Forms is it has a built-in generate QR code function. Whereas the previous slide where I showed you the Google Form QR code, I had to use a third-party application to create that. Microsoft Forms, it's built right in. Google Slides is what I've used to build this particular presentation, but it's essentially a Swiss Army knife of the Google apps. Some example applications include creating ebooks, developing choose your own adventure stories, you can create infographics, create certificates, or create flashcards. Now, simply visiting slides.google.com will take you to the home page where you can see some ready-made templates. But one of my favorite things that you can do with Google Slides is creating interactive slides. So I've got an example of what that looks like here I want to show you. And you can make it as involved as you want. But this is just a simple example of what an interactive slide looks like. So you could have it, different units of instruction, And as students click on these, it takes them to the appropriate section inside the presentation. So if I want to go to topic 3, it takes me right there, and I can go back home. Now, focusing on a Microsoft tool, Microsoft Sway is a way to elevate your presentations. Microsoft Sway is a web-based platform for creating and sharing interactive reports, personal stories, presentations, and lots more. And they have tons of ready-made templates on the Microsoft Sway homepage. So some example applications of how you could use this: you could use it for newsletters, presentations, use it to create blogs or have students create blogs. You can develop lessons with it. And then let's show you an actual Sway so you can see what that looks like. So this particular template is for a newsletter. Okay. So it's a pretty interactive way to view content. You don't have to recreate. If you've got a PowerPoint or a slide deck that you've been using for years, you don't have to recreate that in Sway. You can actually upload that document, and then Sway will create it based on that, and then you can go back and edit and add some of those functionalities to the presentation itself. Now, in face-to-face courses, I am a huge believer in large post-it notes and smaller post-it notes for doing some collaborative discussions, to review concepts that we're going over in class, or for some general brainstorming. But how can we recreate that in an online setting? And Jamboard is a platform that allows us to do that. Jamboard is a collaborative digital whiteboard. We can add text, images, sticky notes, and lots more to these Jamboards. So again, you can use it for class discussions, review logs, you can use it for brainstorming, or use it as a question parking lot. Another virtual whiteboard platform is Microsoft Whiteboard. And it's just a free-form digital whiteboard that allows users to collaborate across devices. And again, you can use it for class discussions, review logs, brainstorming, or question parking lots. You can actually visit that short link to see an example Microsoft Whiteboard. Our final virtual bulletin board, whiteboard platform we're going to talk about is Padlet. Now, this bulletin board allows users to submit comments, text or audio. They can add photos or link documents, or they can drop pins on a map. So again, I'll ask you to take out your cell phone, open up your camera app, and focus on that QR code, or simply type in that URL that you see at the bottom, and drop a pin on the map to see how Padlet works. If you're like me, your bookmarks bar on your browser is an absolute mess. And that's where Wakelet has saved me as a teacher. Wakelet is a platform that allows you to curate and organize content. You can save videos, you can save articles, images, links to tweets, URLs, your own text, and lots more. It's a way to organize all of those bookmarks that you've got. It's a way to organize content that you may have a URL for, you may have a PDF for, you may have a picture for. It's a way to organize that in one central location. You can scan this QR code or visit this short link, and this will provide you access to lots of resources about the platforms that we're discussing today. So you can see how everything is organized. Now, it can be difficult to not be able to connect with students, especially if we're in an online-only setting. We can offer some synchronous sessions, but is there a way we can connect asynchronously, where we can visit face-to-face with our students? And Flipgrid allows us to do that. Flipgrid is a video discussion platform. You can post a topic and you can allow students to respond via short videos. If you'd like to see how this platform actually works, again, scan the QR code or visit the link, and you can actually participate in a Flipgrid post that I've created. Anchor is another very awesome platform, especially as we work, again, to shift students from consumers to creators. Now, creating a podcast used to be this very involved, complicated process. You had to have some expensive equipment. You had to have all of these technical skills, this technical knowledge in order to create and distribute a podcast. Anchor eliminates the need for all of that. It's a free podcasting platform. It's extremely easy to use. Simply use your phone or a computer with a mic. And how we shift students from consumers to creators is you can have an assignment where students have to create a podcast on content or to demonstrate learning. And then you can reuse those podcasts in future classes. Anchor has a lot of great resources if you're not familiar with the concept of podcasting. And this link right here, Podcasting 101, will walk you through the process. Nearpod is an interactive presentation tool. You can have all types of files that you can add interactivity to. PowerPoints, Google Slides, YouTube videos, regular MP4 video files. But my favorite functions of the Nearpod platform happens to be the VR 360 field trips and tours that they have. Now we're getting into some of my absolute favorite applications. And these next few relate to immersive experiences. Google Expeditions is a VR field trip app. You can lead students through various virtual reality or augmented reality experiences. Now, if you have access to a Google Cardboard, you can make those experiences more immersive. Now, there are over 800 expeditions that are available on the Google Expeditions app. Now, the Google Expeditions app is a great product for students to consume content. But again, how do we shift them to becoming creators of content? And that's where Google Tour Creator comes in. Google Tour Creator is a VR tour creation platform. You can use Google Street View scenes, or if you have your own 360 photos, whether taken through a 360 camera or through the Street View app on a smartphone, you can use those as well. Inside this platform, you can add scene descriptions, points of interest, image overlays. You can add voice narration. And again, the great thing is you can have students create virtual tours, again, making them creators of content, and then you can use those to teach future courses. So take a minute and check out this virtual SAE that I developed with a student in Texas. Again, scan the QR code or visit the short link. We've got a series of 360 images with different points that we can click on. So this is a standard image overlay. Go back here. Just some general information. The coop for, this is the main coop. This is the main coop for all of his chickens. They're allowed to roam freely in the yard occasionally. Then I can click to a different scene. Okay. So this takes us into that main coop. Again, I can click and have additional information pop up. And go to the next scene. See, we've got another image overlay here. The nesting box. Okay. Now, I've thrown a lot of content at you in a very short amount of time. And I realize, as a former high school teacher and as a current university educator, I realize that there are tons of applications that we don't have time to explore everything. So what I have done is I've developed a program called EdTech Tip Sheets. And I create one-pagers to help you decide if a tool or a platform has got what you need for your class. So this hopefully speeds up the process of you adopting ed tech tools. So if you don't have time to do a deep dive and learn what Adobe Spark is, you can simply visit the EdTech tip sheet. Really meant to very briefly tell you what this tool is, if there's any cost associated with it, how easy it is to use. I provide you with some example applications and typically an example, and then really simple step-by-step instructions, and then links to additional resources in case you want to explore more. So I do this through Facebook, a Facebook group called Ag Ed Tech Tips. And if you want to follow that, you can visit this link, tappy.tech/OPMCC1, and you'll see a Facebook icon. You click that and then follow. That QR code will take you straight to that URL. But I hope that you've learned something. I hope that you have some ideas for incorporating educational technology into your instruction. And please use that contact info if you've got questions, or if you want to run something by me, if you're thinking about using a tech tool but you're not real sure exactly how it's going to work and you want to test it out with someone, let me know. I'm happy to chat through any of those things. I appreciate you tuning in, and I look forward to hearing from you.